They say this is a big rich town. I just come from
Hey everybody, welcome to the SMB Radio Show presents the Power Review Show. I'm Preach here with the usual suspects, Bino, Voice, and Crystal. We're here to analyze episode 408 titled It's Done. And a lot going on. I think, Power has kind of, ever since that dud of an episode a couple of weeks ago.
Episode 6, yeah, it's crazy.
Right, it was a little bit of a dud. It's kind of redeeming itself back and gaining a lot more interest. So where do we want to start? James St. Patrick is, he's trying to get everything reorganized in his life as far as the businesses. He's now going to start working with the councilman. Lawrence Tate's character.
And his name is Tate.
Councilman Tate.
Yes.
Councilman Tate. It's called the Queen's... What was it called?
Queen's Project?
No, Queen's Kids... Something like that.
Oh, it's one of them weirdo commercials with the kids playing
Society.
Basketball. Exactly, yes. Children's Day Society, yes.
Right. So he's planning to do that. And then you see also Tommy's... The aftermath after finding out that his dad is Tariq. Mm-hmm. So he's just doing his own investigation. He goes and visits his mother. He goes and visits Tariq's wife,
right,
and sees a picture, and then realizes, yes, well, indeed, that
takes the picture. The picture is of Tariq holding him,
right,
as a little Christmas canceller. Yes, was it heartwarming? Yes,
right.
Very.
So he's holding a little champ, okay,
mm-hmm.
And so of course he goes back to his mother with the picture there,
right,
forcing her to admit after she lied to him about it,
right. The major part about this episode was the feds basically putting all the pieces of the puzzle together and figuring out that Sandoval is actually was indeed the whole time the mole for Lobos, and it was involved in killing Greg
By the
Knox.
way, finally.
I mean,
he's been a mole for like 3 seasons here.
Exactly.
And the thing is, we have to like deal with his face the whole time the murder's brought up, and his So, and one thing about this episode, I know a lot of people hated Angie. We've hated Angie for a while, right? A lot of people have hated Angie. I feel like, and I want to ask you guys, do you feel like she's redeemed herself since the beginning of the series?
I think that she's redeemed herself, but people still don't like her.
Right.
Like, I feel like as much redeeming as she's done,
Right.
it doesn't... You played yourself last season. So I don't really think that. Even she could do whatever she wanted in this whole wide world. And then you keep saying it like you're doing it for Greg, but you cheated and then left Greg. Like, why do you care so much now about Greg?
Also lied on Greg and got him in trouble with his job. Remember when she pulled that
yes.
shit?
Yeah.
So like you're doing all of this for Greg, but you didn't really even... You ran back to Greg when you got mad at Ghost.
Right. But I think there's been a middle point that's been passed where she's righting her wrongs now. Every wrong she's done, it seems like she's trying to right every single one of them.
But she's still not a fan favorite because every Monday
I think I'm a fan of her now. I'm not. I mean, I can't. Obviously, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't know what you guys feel, but I feel like I kind of like Angie now.
I never liked or hated her. Be honest with you, there are more characters I'm more passionate towards,
Right.
as far as how I feel about them, but. She just has ways that I don't like. Like even her going to Ghost's lawyer, going to Tariq,
right.
and telling obviously that's how Sandoval wound up getting killed.
Right.
Like she doesn't know how much blood she has on her hands sometimes.
Well,
like,
that was a blatant
and granted,
plan.
it's a kill. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly. I mean, and if she knelt over him and this is for Knox
knew
or
that.
whatever,
Exactly.
this is for
Right.
Greg, however, whatever she said. But like, I don't know, she's too much sometimes with the,
She's figured things out, and she knows exactly who she needs to plot things on. That's basically it.
Right. I think you also in this episode see the greatness of Ghost, where his planning or his dissecting of certain situations, I think he's a master at that. So Tommy's ready to go to war with
Jimenez brothers.
Yeah, with the Jimenez brothers. And he's like, if I've already gave him the option to go on a deal. We have a deal ready. If we don't get a deal or we don't get an answer, we're going to war. And you can see just Ghost trying to maneuver, and he actually goes to the meeting with what's the name of the actual gang?
The Todos Locos?
Todos Locos, yes, right. So, he actually goes to the meeting, and you actually see why Ghost is Ghost. Like, he's amazing when it comes to
It's like we were talking
things
about
out.
on our regular show when we were talking about Trump. There's a level of diplomacy that Ghost has that Tommy does not have. Like, Tommy's going to come in there, he's going to say something, he's going to offend you. Even if he doesn't mean it that way, he's going to offend you. Whereas Ghost is reasonable. He's sitting down there. Yo, dude pulled out the strap.
Right.
Ghost ain't flinch a bit.
Right.
Just made, reason with him like, yo, this is why it needs to be the way it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that helped persuade things a lot.
I mean, one thing we talked about in the beginning of the season was we thought Tommy was going to take this this leader position and really excel at it when he really hasn't. He's just basically he's
a natural born hothead. Yeah. So like even if you have belief in Tommy, he lets his emotions supersede his rational thinking. So he's never gonna be like Ghost because he doesn't think 5 steps ahead. He thinks about right now in this moment. Right. And so that's why he's never going to be a good leader.
Right. Thanks for the moment.
Yeah, no, I think you actually see why Ghost is Ghost.
And mind you, before you continue, this war was even more dangerous because Dre and the rest of the soldiers were not on board.
Yeah.
And Dre conniving ass would have put Tommy in an ambush.
Yes.
Right.
Big time.
Yeah, and that's another
Which
thing
is, I think, happening.
That you bring up is, so you see Dre and... It's weird. It seems like they're trying to make him this new villain figure. Like he's going to be because he has a meeting with what the freaking name is the name of the gang?
Jimenez brothers.
Yes.
The gang or the actual two, the brother and the sister? Which one are you referring to?
Todos Locos, whatever. So
something maybe a little Spanish 101 is in order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taco Bellos. What was that? What the hell? What was that?
The El Grandes.
Yes.
So he has a meeting with them, and he proclaims he wants to be the biggest drug dealer in New York City.
Basically, if you're familiar with New Jack City, he pulled the side deal. He did what got G Money's ass killed.
Yes.
He pulled the side deal.
And I think we expect the same for him.
Bad business, yes.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Right. I hope so.
Sorry, I mean,
but they're making him to be this figure that you kind of like. I'm looking into the future. I'm thinking they're kind of trying to make it where it ends up being Ghost and Tommy versus Dre now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't see him as that character, to be honest with you.
I'm the only person that disagrees with that. I feel like the only reason why he's making these deals is just to cover himself, not to go above Tommy and Ghost. I feel like he's doing all these things to cover his track.
But he's already the third guy now. He's the distro now. So why would he have to cut a side deal? No, he's greedy now.
Yeah.
Before, you kind of felt for him because with the whole Kanan thing, he was trying to protect his daughter.
Absolutely.
Remember when Kanan had his daughter on some airplane shit? All right, cool. Since then, every move he's done has been for self.
Right.
Getting what's his name, JC?
Yeah.
Getting him killed, and now this. Like he's doing cruddy shit. It's gonna cost him his life eventually.
Yeah, and we hope so. I mean, that's just the biggest thing. So you kind of see that positioning happening. So let's talk about how basically Sandoval was apprehended. So. You know, Sandoval had gone to Donovan, who's become an incredibly likable.
Donovan is arguably the funniest guy. Donovan has been angry Negro since Terry taught Ghost not to be angry Negro. Ever since then, Donovan has been mad.
It's some bullshit.
Even they eating in the diner, he cutting his eggs all angry. Like, I mean, the dude is just angry.
He's just an angry.
It's ridiculous.
So you see that dynamic. They actually are just trying to figure out why and Sax is just such an idiot. I mean, he sits with Angie and Donovan, and
he can't hold water.
He hears their story and then relays it out to Sandoval.
No, I think so. I got to disagree there. I think that was all planned with Angie. I think that Sax was planned to go to him so Sandoval can go to the apartment and they can set
you
him
might
up.
have a point.
You might have a point. That might be a good point. It might be. But Sax always seems like that conniving character.
He's just such a bro. He's
smart
such
a little bit in the
bro.
last episode and in the beginning of this episode. He was smart.
Right. So anyway, so Sax reveals to Sandoval that listen, they think you're the mole, and she has this whole thing planned out. Thus, we have Sandoval going to Angie's house.
Yes.
We thought it was just a regular meeting, and one thing I noticed about, I was like, wow, and she's really calm throughout this whole thing. Like I would think that
he came out with the Michelob.
Yeah, like it was just a very calm. One thing about you in this episode, you see home etiquette. Like there's no home training with nobody.
No. Even with Tommy going to the lady's house, opening a cabinet,
the door, and
in a black family,
a lot of shit we would have got slapped for. Yeah, exactly. You ever touch China in your house?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
In
the cabinet.
But even your mother seeing you do it in somebody else's house, they be like, "Oh no, I did not really like
crazy.
that."
Yeah, I know my father. I can't even touch him.
Sandoval walks in, takes off his jacket, got the gun in the back,
gun all out, like
ready to go. So anyway, excuse me. So Angie's basically breaking it down in front of him. And he's caught. He's caught red-handed,
showing him the pictures,
absolutely. And then
we
we find out she's wired, and all the other agents are hearing him. So obviously he's just telling on himself. Excuse me. So he comes out. They have their confrontation. He pulls the gun out on her, and she does something really slick. Hey, look over there, huh? Bow.
Well, actually, you forget one big part too. Before she even does that, she disconnected the signal.
No, well, that was. Right.
Was that after she shot him?
That was before she shot him.
Right before.
Okay.
But she did that for a reason.
Of course.
We were all trying to figure out, like,
is she turning mole? What is her deal?
What's going on? But she did something. That's why I think she's turning into a likable character. The fact that she thought about 10 steps ahead and saying, you know what? You could be a witness. You could still save yourself, knowing that he'll be put in holding and he'll be dealt with in holding.
Yeah,
crazy.
To even think about that in the future was kind of crazy. So anyway, they apprehend Sandoval. Sandoval's in holding. And then
he tries to cut a side deal with John.
Absolutely. So
deal for immunity.
Right. And so Tommy and Ghost are just discussing like, wow, he's been arrested. They find out he's been arrested, but they're kind of worried about the information that he knows and if he'll let everybody else know that they were involved in the killing Lobos. So they come up with the idea to have Tariq, who is the newly found father of Tommy.
I love you, son. I'd do anything for you.
Which is amazing.
Just give me his name.
No questions asked.
Oh, you're not going to ask who or why? I don't care, son. I love you.
I love you.
Canceling Christmas.
So
that's right.
They set up a whole plan for Tariq and Tariq to have somebody kill Sandoval while in holding. They kill Sandoval. Angie walks in. All the agents walk in. Everybody leaves, and Angie looking over him.
She waits for the agents.
Oh, yeah. And she says that was for Greg.
This is for Greg Puto.
Yeah, exactly.
And knowing exactly what she was doing.
Even
Greg was sitting there.
You saw the devilish eye she had when she went over to Silver. She went over to Silver to let him know that they found and apprehended the guy. And when she left that office, so that little smirk that she made,
she knew it.
She knew.
She knew
he was going to go
exactly
there.
what she was doing.
He was going to go tell Proctor, Ghost, etc.
And they're going to set it
That's
up.
why. So I think her character is becoming a lot more likable. I think we'll start seeing a lot less of the.
You sure? Because the poor actress is getting death threats in real life.
No, she's getting flowers sent to her
Exactly.
apartment. So it's a crazy thing. So Sandoval's gone, and now we have only 2 episodes left. So it's gonna be a crazy dynamic on that front. And now you also see Tariq get involved with a robbery, and the Tariq that we want to whoop just seems like. I think he delved way into deep.
He's over his head.
And it was way over his head. They came up with a crazy plan. He's supposed to sell chocolates to some white woman in her apartment. They bombard the door. And for whatever reason, they tell him to leave. But he decides he goes upstairs with those guys to kind of see what's going on. Does way too much, talks too much. They end up killing a woman.
Well, he sees a rape about to happen.
Yep.
So he gets spooked even more. Says the person he knows name. Was it Brains?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, says his name.
Right.
Which forces them to now kill the woman.
Yeah.
So now he's almost seen a rape and a couple murders in about 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
This isn't our innocent little kid anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean.
Now you notice now he's going back to Pops. Hey, about that school in Connecticut.
Heard it had some good science
the daughter wants to get away from the situation.
Last week he didn't want to go.
Right. She wants to go to this new school in Connecticut now, and he was like, whatever. And now he's thinking about getting away because it got too much from him. I think. You know, I don't know if this wakes him up. I don't think.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happens after this, but
he's going to Canaan. Them 2 Brains is after him. They're going to find him.
That's a problem.
They're going to find him.
That's going to be a problem because now you see Brains calling him, and he's not picking up. He's texting him. He's not responding.
So they're going to be scared that he's going to snitch.
Yep.
Or Kanan might do something to handle those 2. Brains and the other assailants.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we have 2 more episodes left. What do you guys predict? And by the way, you know, the people who leak the series and actually like put it on their timeline, F you.
That's right.
Don't ruin it for other people,
That's right.
man. Enjoy it yourself. Find out the stories. Yes. Like don't ruin it for other people. So what are you guys expecting to happen here?
I can't say the one thing I did see because of you idiots leaking, but
Right.
I think Kane's going to be wind up coming back in the picture again.
There's no war.
There's no
for
war
right
for
now.
now.
For now. It'd be interesting to see how Kanan comes back in the picture, if any. You want to see how Ghost is going to moving forward.
I wonder if he's going to notice because Tasha got the earring back now.
Yes, that's another thing.
That she left at Lawyer Cornball's house. So, yo, you saw the very first scene. He wakes up and she leaves a note like he's some cheap whore. Thanks for the memory. Right. Amazing. So I wonder if Ghost being Ghost,
he notices her earring on the floor. I think there was a definite signal that he's going to find out in some way or another. But he's not going to divorce her, which is crazy.
But in the preview now, you see her talking about living off the divorce money and all that crazy shit.
Right. So maybe she might be filing or whatever.
Oh, she thinks she's going to run away with the lawyer somewhere.
Wait till she sees him when he needs a haircut, because I saw that picture come across my timeline.
I damn sure posted it. He had the George Jeffersons on the side.
I don't think she's going to want to wake up to that.
That should look like a donut got it beaten out. Thank God they cut his hair, man, in those episodes, B.
So and you know what? The writing in here on this episode was done pretty well. Just because how they set up. You always wanted to wonder why. What is Teresi's importance going to be with?
Everything is
Tommy?
always connected,
and it's connected because
he wound up killing Sandoval.
Yep.
Which probably saves them from that Lobos murder charge.
Yep. Which is crazy. Which Angie knew what was coming. So, so we have 2 episodes left. It seems like this series has gone pretty fast. We have to wait another 2 years for.
Yes, exactly. Yo, like I said last week, Tariq gonna be ghost age by the time next season comes.
It's gonna be nuts. So we want to see that dynamic. Tasha and Terry. How Ghost is going to move.
I'm just very interested in the whole Teresi Tommy thing.
There's going to be a new war. I feel like there's a new war coming up.
Because now you're getting Tommy involved with Italian hoods from Queens.
Yeah.
You already know how that goes down, so that's going to be very interesting.
Them versus the Jimenez family?
Right. And they're ruthless.
I think that Tommy's going to kill Proctor.
That's the one thing I don't want to see. Like, I really like Proctor.
Well, one thing you did see was Proctor still have that evidence.
Yeah.
And he hid it in the P.O. box.
Well, he's got to save his ass.
Yeah.
But then he said he did away with it?
He told him he did away with it.
But that's the one trump card he needs to stay alive.
He does, yeah.
I think he needs that to stay alive.
Absolutely.
Ghost is not stupid. You saw that intensity he had in that car? And the way he looked at him?
Yeah, he damn sure got that man's car crazy.
He knows he's lying.
That's one thing about this is they always remind you of why Ghost is Ghost, man. Like this episode was truly
he's always 10 steps ahead, and I mean, this is no different, but
he knows.
I like Proctor. I really do trust Proctor. Like, I think unless Proctor is forced, the only way he turns on him is because of Tommy.
It would have to be Tommy, yeah.
Tommy's going to do something stupid that puts that man in that corner. But other than that, Proctor's one of their best allies, period.
He is, but I feel like Tommy's so hot-headed that he's going to forget that.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He's too hot-headed. Like, he didn't really need to kill the agent, but he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he reacts before he thinks.
That's a fact.
Right.
I think that was purposely done, though. I think that he wanted Proctor to get implicated.
So a question. So is Ghost going to get back in the game now? Like him showing up to that meeting with the Jimenez.
He's already in there.
Yeah, but I mean, he went for that meeting purpose. But he doesn't make his money through drugs anymore.
Right.
But is it going to get to the point where he has to get back in the game?
Yeah, I feel like
I think it all depends
Not for the drugs, though.
I think it all depends on what happens with Sterling.
Okay.
I think it all depends on what happens as far as the money owed. First of all, he still owes Tommy that money. Mm-hmm. He owes Chicago that money, and he also owes Sterling money.
Like, I'm not going to lie to you, yo, and call me ignorant if you want. I have no interest in seeing Ghost run that damn club. Right. I have even less interest in seeing Ghost create the damn community center in Queens.
He's trying to do the right thing.
I have any scene with him cutting a ribbon at some community center, yo, I will turn the shit off and walk out the room. I have no interest in it whatsoever. None.
All right, man. So we expect great things in the last 2 episodes.
Definitely crazy.
2 episodes left, man.
There's going to be a break?
No,
I gotta just
two episodes. You might as well.
I mean, the
usually
season
9th, 10th. They
Stars is definitely going to push. They're definitely going to push the episodes out now, being that all of them been leaked.
And shit. Yeah, but I expect to at least end by Memorial Day, at least.
Yeah.
You mean
Labor Day. Excuse me, Labor Day. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll all figure everything out by that time. All right. So for Bino, for Voice, for Crystal, and Preach, is the SMB Radio presents the Power Review Show, episode 408. It's done. We are out of here. Peace.